10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, welcome back to another edition of the Rising Coaches Member Spotlight. Today we're joined by Wagner assistant coach Bobby Jordan. Bobby, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Adam, how's it going? Thanks a lot for having me on. Excited to be here this morning.
Yeah. Fresh off a 3-game win streak, coming live from the office, right? What is that? A window looking over the gym there?
Yeah, we got the window on the back, looking over the gym. I'm actually in one of our study hall areas right now. So
you guys got the high major setup when you get to look over the court. That's big time.
Don't be afraid to tell all of our recruits that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Bobby, what's up, man? How before we get into like your background and stuff, how's it going? Obviously, you're up in the Northeast. It's been a crazy season for everybody, but how's the whole juggling COVID and scheduling and trying to stay safe and still win some games going?
Yeah, I mean, we've been fortunate this year from a COVID standpoint, and give a lot of credit to our guys. They've done an unbelievable job of taking the right precautions when there's been students on campus, and we went probably about 2.5 months with nobody here except us and the women's team. So guys just did a really good job of being safe, because really all they wanted to do was play. That's, not having a spring, not having a summer. Guys came back excited to get back in the gym and be on campus, and they've done everything that's been asked of them since they've been back here at Wagner.
Yeah, it's great. And it's crazy. Like I was looking at the calendar this morning. We got like 3 weeks left and we're in postseason.
Yeah.
It's been a long year, but it's also like this season's flown by, it seems like.
Exactly.
All right, Bobby, tell us a little bit about your background, man. Where are you from? How did you get into hoops and eventually into coaching?
So originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Grew up a Philly guy through and through, Big Five, all that stuff. Went to Roman Catholic High School and played there, which is kind of one of the more well-known high schools in the Philly area.
With our guy, Scott Massio. We got to give a shout out.
Scott Massio, shout out, my former teammate at Roman, Tampa alum. I know you were with him. Great guy. I know he's doing really well right now. But from Roman, I went on to play for Bruiser Flint at Drexel. Started as a walk-on and eventually earned a scholarship for him. And one of the reasons why I went to Drexel was really because I wanted to get into coaching. I knew that, that was kind of my passion and kind of my dream to be in college coaching when I went to college. So did a lot of little things while I was there. Although I was on the team and, in practice, games every day, all the normal stuff of a Division I player, I used my summers to really work on my coaching craft and coached an AAU team when I was a freshman in college, went on the circuit, worked for the hoop group for Rob Kennedy. Those guys gave me a chance at a young age to really, get my name out there, get some experience, and really just grow my network at that time too. As a young kid who, many people thought I was a player still, but I'm out there coaching a team, and the guys that I was coaching were only, maybe 3-4 years younger than me at the time too.
What do you think, like, biggest takeaways from that were? Like, what were the biggest lessons or the biggest value you got out of coaching while you're still in college?
One of the biggest things I took out of it was, just the value of the network in college coaching and just seeing how that worked. Like during that time at the hoop group, working for them and, their great network of coaches that they have, and then going through AAU and kind of seeing it from the college side. I mean, I'll never forget, I coached Rakeem Christmas. He was on my first AAU team. And Rob Lanier called me out of nowhere one day asking about Rakeem Christmas, who really wasn't on the map at the time. And Rob was at Florida. And he told me Billy Donovan, was flying into Jersey to come see Rakeem at the time. And I wanted to tell Rob, like, I'm 19 years old. Like, that's great. I'm excited for Rock. But that's how I kind of saw how, this whole thing works, like that was great. Like Rob calling me and not knowing necessarily who I was, but just the network that you need to create in order to, be on the recruiting trail, be in college basketball. Those little things kind of really stood out at an early age for me.
Yeah, and if you do it the right way, it's going to take time to build that network. And so the fact that you could get started building that, as a teenager is big time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a lot of people don't, I think, realize this at first. But, college coaching, just like a normal job in a way, is you got to start from the bottom and kind of work your way up. And it's maybe a little bit harder to start from the bottom because of, financially the money's not there. And, if you're not doing it at the right time, situations family wise or, even socially can be a little hard on someone. But, it's basically just like a 9-to-5 job of kind of getting started and working your way up.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about that. Tell us, all right, you graduated from Drexel, and then, where does your coaching career take you then?
So after graduating from Drexel, I was kind of, in limbo for a couple months. Bruiser didn't know if he was going to be able to bring me on as like a graduate assistant at the time. So I was, working hoop group, doing the same things I did, coaching AAU in the summer, spending my whole summer up at Albright with Rob Kennedy and those guys. And then I was fortunate enough to kind of get on staff with Brew that next year as our operations assistant / GA, and kind of started out and then, which was great because it kind of gave me an opportunity to see a different side. I was always in the locker room as a player, and now I'm in the coaches' meetings. I kind of see the hours that they put in. I think that's one thing as a player you don't realize is how many hours that coaches really put in. Very fortunate at that time as well. The NCAA had a rule where your operations person could go 30 miles to high school games. And being in Philadelphia was great. So I could get out to a bunch of different places to kind of see high school games, see kids, meet coaches, talking about networking that we were talking about earlier. That was a great opportunity to do that. That rule has since been, passed along and put away. But I thought that was really beneficial at the time for me and allowed me to kind of help me in my advancement in my career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What an advantage. I wish they'd bring that one back. Actually, I just wish they'd let them all out and let everybody go watch games. So, okay, how long are you at Drexel?
So I was at Drexel a year and a half as our operations assistant, and then Ashley Howard moved on to Xavier. He's now the head coach at LaSalle. He moved on to Xavier as an assistant, and Brew gave me the opportunity to come on as an assistant coach. At the time, I was only 23 years old. I believe me and Zach Bovair were the two youngest assistant coaches in the country at the time. He was actually the one that gave me that stat. Of course, I don't think I could come up with that stat, but I know he could. So
Zach's got all the stats. He's an encyclopedia.
Yeah, he is. So I stayed for 4 years as an assistant for Brew. Unfortunately, as this business goes, we got let go at Drexel, and it was time to move on. And I moved on actually in a different path. I went back to high school. Went back to grassroots basketball. I became the AD at a school called Girard College, which is a boarding school in Philadelphia, and eventually coached the team as well. But along that time, I was working with Team Final on the EYBL, and just worked with their 16 and under team. A lot of the guys I coached are now freshmen in in college. So it's great to see those guys have success. And it was a different outlook. It was a different way. And the one thing that was great about that time was it was the opportunity to become a head coach. And, I've heard this all the time is it doesn't really matter what level you're coaching at. The opportunity to become a head coach is great experience. So that experience that I had at Girard, and then I was eventually able to move down to IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. Brian Nash, their director, gave me the opportunity to come down there and coach their elite high school team. Fortunate enough to have good players. Zach Eady, who's at Purdue right now, Mark Strickland, who's at St. Louis, and a couple other guys who are actually still there, who are on Sean McElwain's national team. Just being able to be around those guys in that environment was very beneficial, allowed me to grow as a coach, allowed me to work on my craft. It wasn't necessarily about recruiting. It was more so getting better with X's and O's, getting better on the court with player development. Had the opportunity to do some pre-draft stuff for John Morant while I was down there and work with him. So that was just a totally different experience and really helped me grow as a coach more so as, a recruiter or a networker. It really allowed me to branch out And then after a year down there, I got a call from our head coach here at Wagner, Bashir Mason, who had an opening on his staff, and he was able to bring me on here at Wagner last year.
So how did you get to know Coach Mason? Just through recruiting and being on the road, or?
Well, me and Coach Mason, we played together at Drexel for 2 years. He was 2 years ahead of me at Drexel. He was our starting point guard, had an unbelievable career at Drexel. Made practice really, really hard for me every day. I've never gone up against a better defender in practice every single day. He really made it hard for our second team to kind of run offense.
Yeah.
But he was an unbelievable player. Drexel had an unbelievable career. Knew he was going to have a big time coaching career when he eventually decided to go into coaching. So that's how we kind of met.
Do you guys still hoop ever? Any pickup games over there where you guys reignite those battles?
Yeah, we get out there and practice. I'm actually on the injured list right now. I got a little too amped up in practice, and I call it I got a little calf strain, a grade 2 right now, they said. So I'm on the IR. I was out there in a shell drill trying to guard the post a little too hard, and I don't think I was warmed up enough. I've sent the clip to a couple coaches I know who told me that, you're 34 now. You're not 24. So,
man, it's a real thing getting old, isn't it?
It is.
It sucks. I hurt my shoulder like 2 weeks ago. I thought I'd be back to normal the next day. It's still bothering me.
Take a little bit longer now.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me about like your mindset going to Wagner. This is like your second. You have the quick rise at Drexel. You're an assistant coach at 23. As you mentioned, at some point in everyone's coaching career, you're going to get fired. Your staff got let go at Drexel. You coach high school for a few years, AAU, prep school. Now you get an opportunity to come back to the Division I level at Wagner. What was your mindset going into it? Was it way different than, getting the call up at Drexel at 23?
Yeah, it was a little bit different. I mean, getting the call at Drexel, obviously being at your alma mater and being an assistant at your alma mater is huge. For me, getting the call here at Wagner, like I said, going into Drexel, I always wanted to be a college coach, and kind of being out for a couple of years, I still had that hunger. I still had that desire to get back to the college level. And I knew that, going back to network, it had to be with the right people. IMG Academy is one of the best places I've ever seen in terms of resources, facilities in the country, and great people that work down there as well. But just, Coach Mason, his family, Bruiser was big on family while we were there, and everybody just being one big, Drexel family together. So my mindset was, really just hungry to get back to the college level, and also being able to, like I said, work with family. Winston Smith, who's here on our staff, we were on the same staff together at Drexel. He also played for Brew at UMass. So just being able to go back with guys that you've been around a long time, and there's nothing better to kind of being in the trenches with those guys and putting in the work, and then seeing kind of everything come together and string together some wins and have a successful season.
There we go. Sorry about that. My mute button was stuck. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Tell us about, like your couple seasons at Wagner now, and just being in the NEC. We mentioned you guys won 3 straight. Pretty competitive league, right? It feels like every year, there's not like that one top dog that, like a Gonzaga, that just is going to win it. Seems like, it's up for grabs. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, especially this year. I mean, especially with COVID, schedules are different. Teams haven't played as many games as other teams. For example, we've won 3 in a row. We're 4-4. We're 1 game out of first place, but the first place teams have won 4 losses as well. We just haven't played as many games as them yet. So, that's kind of the key thing, is every night is a grind. Every night is tough, especially with these back-to-backs that we're playing. Our league's playing back-to-backs where you play 4 teams at home, 4 teams away, and then 1 team who's the closest to you, you play them home and home. So that next day, that second game is a war, no matter what. I mean, we beat Sacred Heart by 30 this year, the first game. and then lost to them in double overtime the next day. So every time you step on the court in the NEC, you're getting that team's best effort. It's a league built on tough kids, that kind of were probably under-recruited coming out of high school that have a lot to prove. And you see that every night that you step on the court in this league.
What's like, have you figured out the key for game 2 of those 2-game series?
It's been different because, like I said, we won by 30 one time and we lost in double overtime. We've lost the first game, won the second game. And then in our most recent one, we've swept both games and won in overtime. The biggest thing is really, and I kind of harp this to our guys all the time, is really taking care of your body. There's very little time to make adjustments from a coaching standpoint, especially depending on what time the games are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really your players and kind of getting them focused on their rest, what they're eating, their hydration. We do an unbelievable job of kind of, from a stretching, from a physiological standpoint of kind of getting them going the morning before the game on the back-to-back. I asked my wife for advice because she used to coach in the Ivy League and they did a lot of back-to-backs. She's big on that. She kind of told me the Ivy League's a lot different. It's a lot different. So she didn't really give me much help on that.
Yeah.
But, biggest their body, making sure that their body is ready for that next day.
Yeah, I'd imagine pretty much the most you can do is watch film, right, with your guys?
Yeah, watch film. Like I said, you can make some little adjustments, maybe ball screen coverages. If they're playing the zone, maybe how you attack the zone a little differently. But you're not putting in new plays for that next day.
Right, right.
Really not changing much from that perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys even do a shoot around or no?
We haven't done a shoot around on the road because our league doesn't even allow shoot arounds when you're
okay. Because of COVID?
Because of COVID, yeah. When you're the home team, you can shoot around. We've done some like foul shooting, guys that want to get up some extra shots will get up some extra shots, but on the road, we can't even shoot around.
Crazy. Well, congrats on the hot streak right now. I hope you guys keep it up. It looks like you've got who's next? Fairleigh Dickinson, right? They're pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, FDU coming in 4 in a row. They've kind of been us and them have kind of been the hottest teams in the league right now. So it's a big week. This is actually the team too that we play one game at home. We'll play at home on Thursday. And then on Saturday, we'll go to FDU. So this is actually the only time during the league season that we won't play back-to-back.
Okay. Well, good luck, man. Big game Thursday night. We'll be keeping track and rooting for you guys.
I appreciate it.
Bobby, thanks for jumping on, man.
Thanks a lot, Adam. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Absolutely.